I have tricks in my pocket. I have things up my sleeve. But I am the opposite of the stage magician. He gives you illusion that has the appearance of truth. I give you truth in the pleasant disguise of illusion. I take you back to an alley in St. Louis. The time, that quaint period, when the huge middle class of America was matriculating from a school for the blind. Their eyes had failed them, or they had failed their eyes, and so they were having their fingers pressed forcibly down on the fiery braille alphabet of a dissolving economy. In Spain, there was revolution, but here there was only shouting and confusion and labor disturbances, sometimes violent in otherwise peaceful cities like Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit. That is the social background of this play. The play is memory. Being a memory play, it is dimly lighted. It is sentimental. It is not realistic. In memory, everything seems to happen to music. That explains the fiddle in the wing. I am the narrator of this play, and I am also a character in it. The other characters in the play are my mother, Amanda, my sister, Laura, and a gentleman caller who appears in the final scenes. Now, he is the most realistic character in the play, being an emissary from a world that we were somehow set apart from. But having a poet's weakness for symbols, I am using this character as a symbol, as the long-delayed but always expected something that we live for. There is a fifth character who doesn't appear other than in a photograph hanging on the wall. When you see the picture of this grinning gentleman, please remember this is our father who left us a long time ago. He was a telephone man who fell in love with long distance. So he gave up his job with the telephone company and skipped the like fantastic out of town. Last we heard of him was a picture postcard from the Pacific coast of Mexico containing a message of 2 words. Hello, goodbye, and no address.
You know, Laura, I had the funniest experience in church last Sunday. The church was crowded, except for one pew way down front, and in that was just one little woman. I smiled very sweetly at her and said, "Excuse me, would you mind if I share this pew?" "I certainly would," she said. "This space is rented." Do you know that's the first time I ever knew that the Lord rented space? These northern Episcopalians. I can understand the southern Episcopalians, but these northern ones, no. Honey, don't push your food around with your fingers. You have to push your food with something. The thing to use is the crust of bread. Humans must chew their food. Animals have secretions in their stomachs which enable them to digest their food without mastication. But humans must chew their food, and chew, chew. Oh, eat leisurely, eat leisurely. A well-cooked meal has many delicate flavors that must be held in the mouth for appreciation. But chew your food, chew, chew. Don't you want your salivary glands to have a chance to function?
Mother, I haven't enjoyed one bite of this dinner because of your constant directions on how to eat it. It's you that makes me hurry through my meals with your hawk-like attention to every bite I take. It's disgusting, all this discussion of animal secretions, salivary glands,
Temperament like a
mastication.
metropolitan star.
Right.
You are not excused from this table.
I'm getting a cigarette.
You smoke too much. Mother, I'll bring in the coffee. No, you sit down. I'm going to be the maid today, and you're going to be the lady. I'm already up. Oh, resume your seat. Resume your seat. You stay fresh and pretty for the gentlemen callers.
I'm not expecting any gentlemen callers.
Well, that's the nice thing about them. They come when you least expect it. Well, I remember one Sunday afternoon
I know what's coming now.
Yes, but let her tell it.
Again?
She loves to tell it.
I remember one Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain when your mother was a girl, she received 17 gentlemen callers. Sometimes there weren't enough chairs to accommodate them all. We had to send a maid over to the parish house to fetch the folding chairs.
How'd you entertain all them gentlemen callers?
I happen to understand the art of conversation.
Yeah, I bet you could talk.
I could. All the girls in my day could, I tell you.
Yeah.
They knew how to entertain their gentlemen callers. It wasn't enough for them to be possessed of a pretty face, a graceful figure, although I wasn't slight in either respect. She also had to have a nimble wit and a tongue to meet all occasions.
What did you talk about?
Why, we'd talk about things of importance going on in the world. Never anything common or coarse or vulgar. My callers were gentlemen, all. Some of the most prominent men in the Mississippi Delta. Planters and sons of planters. Like Champ Laughlin. He went on to become the vice president of the Delta Planters Bank. Hiley Stevenson, he was drowned in Moon Lake. My goodness, he certainly left his widow well provided for. $150,000 in government bonds. And the Cherry brothers, Wesley and Bates. Bates was one of my own raw particular bows. But he got in a quarrel with that wild Wainwright boy, and they shot it out on the floor of Moon Lake Casino. Bates was shot through the stomach. He died in the ambulance on his way to Memphis. He certainly left his widow well provided for, too. 8 or 10,000 acres, no less. He never loved that woman. She just caught him on the rebound. My picture was found on him the night he died. And that boy that every girl in the Delta was setting her cap for, that beautiful, brilliant young Fitzhugh boy from Greene County,
What did he leave his widow?
he never married. What's the matter with you? You talk about all my old admirers that turned up their toes to the daisies.
Well, isn't this the first you mentioned that still survives?
He made an awful lot of money. He went north to Wall Street and made a fortune. He had the Midas touch. Everything that boy touched just turned to gold. And I could have been Miss J. Duncan Fitzhugh, mind you. But what did I do? I just went out of my way and picked your father.
Mother, let me clear the table.
No, you go up front and study your typewriter charts and practice your shorthand a while. Have to stay fresh and pretty. It's almost time for our gentlemen callers to start arriving. How many do you suppose we're going to entertain this afternoon?
I don't believe we're going to be receiving any, Mother.
Not any? Not one? Why, you must be joking. Not one gentleman caller? What's the matter? Is it in a flood or a tornado?
It's not a flood. It's not a tornado, Mother. I'm just not popular like you were in Blue Mountain. Mother's afraid I'm going to be an old maid. DAR meeting, Mother.
DAR meeting?
Didn't you go to the DAR meeting, Mother?
No, I didn't go to any DAR meeting. I didn't have the strength. I didn't have the courage. I just wanted to find a hole in the ground and stand there the rest of my life.
Why did you do that, Mother?
What? How old are you, Laura?
Mother, you know my age.
I was under the impression that you were an adult, but evidently I was very much mistaken.
Please don't stare at me, Mother.
What are we gonna do? What is gonna become of us? What is the future?
Has something happened, Mother? Mother, has something happened?
I'll be all right in a minute. I'm just bewildered by life.
Mother, I wish you would tell me what's happened.
I went to the DAR this afternoon, as you know. I was to be inducted as an officer. I stopped off at Rubicam's Business College to tell them about your cold and to see how you were progressing down there. Oh, yes. Oh. I went straight to your typing instructor and introduced myself as your mother. Wingfield, she said. Well, we have no such scholar enrolled in this school. I assured her she did. I said, my daughter Laura's been coming to classes since early January. Well, I don't know, she said, unless you mean that terribly shy little girl who dropped out of school after a few days' attendance. No, I said, I don't mean that one. I mean my daughter, Laura, who's been coming here every single day for the past 6 weeks. Excuse me, she said. And she took down the attendance book, and there was your name, unmistakable, printed, and all the dates you've been absent. I still told her she was wrong. I still said there must be some mistake. There must be some mix-up in the records. No, she said. I remember her perfectly now. She was so shy and she trembled so much that her fingers couldn't touch the right keys. We gave her a speed test and she broke down completely, got sick of the stomach and had to be carried to the washroom. After that, she never came back. Oh, we telephoned the house every single day. Never got any answer. That was when I was working down the department store, I suppose, demonstrating those. I felt so weak, I couldn't stand up. I had to sit down while they brought me a glass of water. $50 tuition. Well, it's not the money so much, but all my hopes for any kind of future for you. Gone with the spout. Just gone with the spout like that. Oh, don't do that, Laura. Don't play that controller. Oh. What have you been doing every day when you've gone out of the house pretending you were going to business college?
I just went out walking.
That's not true.
Yes, it is, Mother. I just went walking.
Walking? Walking in winter? Deliberately caught pneumonia in that light coat? Well, where'd you walk to, Laura?
All sorts of places, mostly in the park.
Even after you started catching that cold?
It was the lesser of two evils, Mother. I couldn't go back and threw up on the floor.
From 7:30 till after 5 every day. You mean to tell me that you just walked around the park just so I'd think that you were still going to Rubicam's Business College?
Oh, Mother, it's not as bad as it sounds. I went inside places to get warmed up.
Inside where?
I went in the art museum and the birdhouses at the zoo. I visited the penguins every day. Sometimes I did without lunch and I went to the movies. Lately I've been spending my afternoons at the Jewel Box, a big glass house where they raise the tropical flowers.
You did all that to deceive me? Just for deception? Why? Why?
Oh, Mother, when you're disappointed, you get that awful suffering look on your face like the picture of Jesus' mother at the museum.
Hush.
I couldn't face it. I couldn't.
So what are we gonna do now, honey? The rest of our lives? Just sit here in this house and watch the parades go by? Amuse ourselves with the Glass Menagerie. Turley play those worn-out records. Your father left as a paper reminder of him? have a business career. No, we can't have that. That just gives us indigestion. So what is there left but dependency all our lives? I'll tell you, Laura, I know so well it happens to unmarried women who aren't prepared to occupy a position in life. I've seen such pitiful cases down in the South. Barely tolerated spinsters, living off some brother's wife or sister's husband, tucked away in some little mousetrap of a room, encouraged by one in-law to go on and visit the next in-law. Little bird-like women without any nest, eating the crusty humility all their lives. Is that the future we mapped out for ourselves? I swear I don't see any other alternative, and I don't think that's a very pleasant alternative. Of course, some girls do marry. My goodness, Laura, haven't you ever liked some boy?
Yes, Mother, I liked one once.
You did?
I came across his picture a while ago.
Oh, he gave you his picture too.
No, it was in the yearbook.
Oh, a high school boy.
Yes, his name was Jim. Here he is in the Pirates of Penzance.
A what?
The operetta scene in class put on. He had such a beautiful voice. I sat across the aisle from him Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the auditorium. Here he is with a silver cup for debating. See his grin.
So he had a grin too.
He used to call me Blue Roses.
Blue Roses? What do you call you a silly name like that for?
When I had that attack of pleurosis, he asked me what the matter was when I came back. I said I had pleurosis, and he thought I said blue roses. So that's what he always called me after that. Every time he saw me, he'd holler, "Hello, Blue Roses." I never really cared for the girl he went out with, Emily Meisenbach. Oh, Emily was the best dressed girl at Solon, but she never struck me as being sincere. I read once in the newspaper that they were engaged. It was a long time ago. They're probably married by now.
That's all right, honey. That's all right. It doesn't matter. Little girls who aren't cut out for business careers sometimes end up being married to some very nice young men. And I'm just going to see that you do that too.
But Mother,
What is it now?
I'm crippled.
Don't say that word. How many times have I told you never to say that word? You're not crippled. You just have a slight defect. Why, if you lived in the days when your mother was a girl and with long, graceful skirts sweeping the ground, it might have been considered an asset. When you have a slight disadvantage like that, you just have to cultivate something else to take its place. You have to cultivate charm or vivacity or charm. That's the only thing your father had plenty of. Charm.
After the fiasco at Rubicamp's Business College, the idea of getting a gentleman caller for my sister Laura began to play a more and more important part in my mother's calculations. It became an obsession, like some archetype of the universal and unconscious. The image of the gentleman caller haunted our small apartment. An evening at home rarely passed without some allusion to this image, this specter, this hope. And even when he wasn't mentioned, his presence hung in my mother's preoccupied look and my sister's frightened, apologetic manner. It hung like a sentence passed upon the wing fields. But my mother was a woman of action as well as words. She began to take logical steps in the planned direction. Late that winter and in the early spring, realizing that extra money would be needed to properly feather the nest and plume the bird, she began a vigorous campaign on the telephone, roping in subscribers to one of those magazines for matrons called the Homemaker's Companion. The type of journal that features the serialized sublimations of ladies of letters who think in terms of delicate cup-like breasts, slim tapering waists, rich creamy thighs, eyes like wood smoke in autumn, fingers that soothe and caress like soft, soft strains of music, bodies as powerful as Etruscan sculpture.
Hi, Scott. This is Amanda Wingfield. We missed you at the DAR last Monday. Oh, first, how's that son's condition? Oh, you're just a Christian martyr. That's what you are. You're just a Christian martyr. Well, I was looking through my little red book, and I was noticing that your subscription to the Companion is about ready to run out, just before that wonderful new serial by Bessie Mae Harper starting. It's the first thing she's written since Honeymoon for Three. Now, that was unusual, wasn't it? Well, Ida, this one's even lovelier. It's all about the horses set at Long Island, and a debutante is thrown from her horse as she's taking him over to jumps to the regatta. And her spine is injured. And that's what the horse did. He stepped on her. There's only one surgeon in the entire world that can keep her from being crippled the rest of her life. And that's the man she's engaged to be married to. And he's young, and he's blonde, and he's handsome. That's unusual too, huh? Oh, but he isn't perfect. Of course he has a weakness. He has the most terrible weakness in the entire world. He just drinks too much. What's that? Oh, no, honey. Don't let him burn. You go take a look in that oven, and I'll just hold on. Why, that woman, do you know what she did? She hung up on me.
Mother, Tom's trying to write.
Oh, so he is, so he is.
Now what are you up to?
I'm trying to save your eyesight. You only got one pair of eyes, and you gotta take care of them. Oh, I know that Milton was blind, but that isn't what made him a genius.
Mother, will you please go away and let me finish my writing?
Why don't you sit up straight so your shoulders don't stick through like sparrow's wings?
Mother, please go bother yourself with something else. I am trying to write.
Now, I've seen medical charts, and I know what that position does to your internal organs. You sit up, and I'll show you. See your stomach presses against your lungs, and your lungs press against your heart. And your poor little heart gets so discouraged because it got no room to go on breathing.
What in the hell am I supposed to do?
What's the matter with you? Have you gone out of your senses?
Yes, I have. You have driven me out of them.
What is the matter with you lately, you big idiot?
Look, Mother, I haven't got a thing, not a single thing left in this house that I can call my own.
Lower your voice.
Yesterday, you confiscated my books. You had the nerve to...
I did. I took that awful novel back to the library. That horrible book by that insane Mr. Lawrence. Oh, I cannot control the output of a diseased mind or the people who cater to them, but I will not allow that filth in my house. No,
House?
no.
House? Who pays the rent on the house, huh? Who makes a slave of it of every damn... Oh, no, I mustn't say anything. I just gotta keep quiet and let you do all the talking.
Let me tell you something.
Well, I don't want to hear anymore.
You will hear more.
Well, I'm not gonna listen. I'm going out.
You are going to listen, Tom Wingfield. I'm tired of your impudence. And another thing, I'm at the end of my patience.
And what do you think I'm at the end of? Aren't I supposed to have any patience to reach the end of? I know. It seems unimportant to you. What I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, having a difference between them. You don't think that.
I think you're doing things that you're ashamed of, and that's why you act like that. I don't believe you go every night to the movies. Nobody goes to the movies night after night. Nobody goes to the movies as often as you pretend to. People don't go to the movies at nearly midnight, and movies don't get out at 2 a.m. and you're coming stumbling and muttering to yourself like a maniac. You get 3 hours sleep, and then you go back to work, and I can just imagine how you're doing down there, moping, doping, because you're in no position.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. I am in no position.
How dare you jeopardize your job? Jeopardize our security? How do you think we've managed?
Look, Mother, do you think I'm crazy about the warehouse? You think I'm in love with the Continental shoemakers? that I want to spend 55 years of my life down there in that Celotex interior with fluorescent tubes? Honest to God, I'd rather somebody picked up a crowbar and battered out my brains than go back mornings. But I get up, I go. Sure, every time you come in yelling that bloody rise and shine, I think how lucky dead people are. But I go. For $65 a month, I give up all I dream of doing and being ever. And you say that that's all I think of? Oh, God. Mother, if self was all I thought of, Mother, I'd be where he is. Gone! As far as the system of transportation reaches, please don't grab at me, Mother.
I wasn't grabbing at you. I just want to know where you're going now.
I am going to the movies.
I don't believe that lie.
No? Well, you're right. For once in your life, you're right. I'm not going to the movies. I'm going to opium dens. Yes, Mother, opium dens. Dens of vice and criminal hangouts, Mother. What? I've joined the Hogan gang. Huh, I'm a hired assassin. I carry a Tommy gun and a violin case. Huh, I run a string of cat houses in the valley. They call me Killer. Killer Wingfield. Oh yeah, I'm really leading a double life. By day, I'm a simple, honest warehouse worker. But at night, I'm a dynamic czar of the underworld. I go to gambling casinos and I spin away fortunes at the roulette table. I wear a patch over one eye and a false mustache. Sometimes I even wear green whiskers. And on those occasions, they call me El Diablo. Oh, I could tell you things to make you sleepless. My enemies plan to dynamite this place some night. Sure, some night they're going to blow us all sky high. And will I be glad? Will I be happy? And so will you be. Because you'll go up, over Blue Mountain on a broomstick with 17 gentlemen callers, you ugly, babbling old witch! Oh.
My class.
I'll never speak to you again as long as you live, unless you apologize to me.
Dear one, the world is waiting for the sunrise. Oh. One crack and it falls through.
Tom, what are you doing?
I'm looking for a door key.
Where have you been all this time?
I have been to the movies.
All this time at the movies?
Well, it was a very long program. There was a Garbo picture, and a Mickey Mouse, and a travelogue, and a newsreel, and a preview of coming attractions. And there was an organ solo, and a collection for the Milk Fund, simultaneously, which ended up in a terrible fight between a fat lady and an usher. Oh! Oh!
Did you have to stay through everything?
Of course! Oh, and I forgot. There was a huge stage show. Now, the headliner of this stage show was Malvolio, the magician. And he performed wonderful tricks, many of them, like pouring water back and forth between pitches. Well, first it turned into wine, and then it turned into beer, and then it turned into whiskey. Now, I know that it was whiskey that it finally turned into because he needed somebody to come up out of the audience to help him, and I came up both shows. A very generous fellow. He gave souvenirs. He gave me this. This is his magic scarf. You can have it, Laura. You wave it over a canary cage, and you get a bowl of goldfish. And then you wave it over the bowl of goldfish, and then they fly away canaries. But the wonderfulest trick of all was the coffin trick. We nailed him into a coffin, and he got out of the coffin without removing one nail. Now, there's a trick that would come in handy for me. Helped to get me out of this 2x4 situation.
Tom, shh.
What are you shushing me for?
You'll wake up Mother.
Goody, goody. Pay her back for all them rise and shines. Rise and shine. Oh. You know, it don't take much intelligence to get yourself into a nailed-up coffin, Laura. But who in the hell ever got out of one without removing one nail? But I won't shine.
Laura, tell your brother his coffee's ready.
Tom, it's nearly 7. Don't make Mother nervous. Tom, speak to Mother this morning. Make up with her. Apologize. Speak to her.
She won't to me. It's her that started not speaking.
If you just say you're sorry, she'll start speaking.
Her not speaking. Now, is that really such a tragedy?
Please. Please.
Laura, are you going to do what I asked you to do, or do I have to get dressed and go out myself?
Going. Soon as I get on my coat. What else?
Just butter. Tell them to charge it.
Oh, Mother, they make such faces when I do that.
Sticks and stones can break our bones, but the expression on Mr. Garfinkel's face won't harm us. Tell your brother his coffee's getting cold.
Do what I asked. Will you? Will you, Tom?
Laura, go now, or just don't go at all.
Going.
Laura!
I'm all right. I slipped, but I'm all right.
I tell you, somebody falls down and breaks their leg on those fire escape stairs, the landlord ought to be sued for every cent he's... Who are you?
sorry for all those things that I said. I didn't mean it, and I apologize.
My devotion has made me a witch, and so I've made myself hateful to my children.
No, you don't.
I work so much, I can't sleep. It makes me nervous.
I understand that.
You know, I've had to put up a solitary battle all these years. But you're my right-hand power. Now don't fail me. Don't fall down.
I try, Mother, I try.
All right. You just keep on trying and you're bound to succeed. Why, you're just full of natural endowments. Both my children are. They're very precious children to me, and I have an awful lot to be thankful for. You just must promise me one thing.
Well, what is it, Mother?
Promise me that you'll never become a drunkard.
Well, I promise, Mother. I will never become a drunkard, Mother.
That's what frightened me so, that you'd be drinking. Eat a bowl of oatmeal.
Oh, no thank you, just coffee.
Shredded wheat biscuits.
No, just coffee, Mother.
You can't put in a full day on an empty stomach. You have 10 minutes. Oh, don't go. Drinking too hot liquids makes cancer of the stomach. Now put some honey in it.
No, thank you.
To cook.
No! No, thank you. I want it black.
I know you do. But it's not good. We have to do everything we can to build ourselves up. These trying times we live in, all we have to cling to is each other. That's why it's so important to... Tom, I sent your sister out so that I could discuss something with you. If you hadn't spoken, I would have spoken to you.
What is it, Mother, that you want to discuss?
Laura.
Oh, Laura.
You know how Laura is, so quiet, but still water runs deep. She notices things, and I think she broods about them. A few days ago, I came in and she was crying.
Crying? What about?
You.
Me?
She has an idea that you're not happy here.
Whatever gave her that idea?
What gives her any idea? However, you do act strangely.
Now,
I'm not criticizing, understand that. I know your ambitions don't lie in the warehouse, like everybody else in this whole wide world. You've had to make sacrifices. But Tom, life's not easy. It calls for Spartan endurance. There are so many things in my heart that I cannot describe to you. I never told you that. I loved your father.
Well, I know that, Mother.
And you, well, when I see you taking after his ways, staying out all hours, and when you have been drinking that night, you were in that terrifying condition. Laura says that you hate the apartment, and that's why you go out at night, to get away from it. Is that true, Tom?
No. You say that there is so much in your heart that you can't describe to me. Well, that's true of me, too. There is so much in my heart that I can't describe to you. So let's just respect each other.
Tom, why are you so restless? Where do you go to nights?
I go to the movies.
Why do you go to the movies so much, Tom?
I go to the movies because I like adventure. Adventure is something that I don't get much of at work, so I go to the movies.
But Tom, you go to the movies entirely too much.
I like a lot of adventure.
Most young men find adventure in their careers.
Then most young men are not employed in a warehouse.
There are plenty of young men employed in warehouses and factories and offices.
Do all of them find adventure in their careers?
They do, or they do without it. Not everybody has a craze for adventure.
Man is by instinct a lover, a hunter, a fighter, and none of those instincts are given much play at the warehouse.
Man is by instinct. Don't quote instinct to me. Instinct is something people have gotten away from. It belongs to animals. Christian adults don't want it.
Oh, and what do Christian adults want then, Mother?
Superior things. Things of the mind and the spirit. Only animals have to satisfy instincts. Surely our aims are somewhat higher than theirs, than monkeys, pigs.
I reckon they're not.
You're joking. However, that is not what I wanted to discuss.
I haven't the time.
Sit down.
Do you want me to punch in red at the warehouse, Mother?
You have 5 minutes. I want to talk about Laura.
All right, all right. What about Laura?
We have to be making some plans and provisions for her. She just drifts along, doing nothing. It frightens me terribly how she just drifts along.
I guess Laura's the type that people call homegirls.
There's no such thing. And if there is, it's a pity. Unless, of course, the home is hers with a husband.
What?
Oh, I can see the writing on the wall as clear as I can see the nose in front of my face.
Oh.
It's terrifying how more and more you remind me of your father. He was out all hours without explanation, then left, goodbye, and me with the bag to hold. Well, I saw that letter you got from the mercenary.
Oh.
I know what you're dreaming of. I'm not standing here blindfolded. Very well then do it. And not till there's somebody to take your place.
What do you mean?
I mean, once Laura has someone to take care of her, husband, home of her own, independent, then to be able to go wherever you please. Land, sea, whichever way the wind blows you. But until that time, you have to look after your sister. I don't say me because I'm old and don't matter. I say your sister because she's young and dependent. I put her in business college. A dismal failure. Terrified her so she got sick in the stomach. I took her to the Young People's League at the church. Another fiasco. She spoke to nobody. Nobody spoke to her. Now all she does is play with these pieces of glass and put his worn-out records. What kind of a life is that for a girl to lead?
What can I do about it?
Overcome selfishness. Self, self, self. Where's your muffler? Put your wool muffler on. Tom, I haven't said what I had in mind to ask you.
I am too late.
Down at the warehouse, aren't there some nice young man?
No.
Well, there must be some nice young man.
Mother!
Find out one that's clean living, doesn't drink, and ask him out for sister.
What?
For sister, to meet, get acquainted.
Oh my God!
Will you? Will you? Will you? Will you, dear?
Yes!
Ella Cartwright? Ella, this is Amanda Wingfield. Oh, folks, how's that kidney trouble? Oh, it has come back? Oh, you're just a Christian martyr. You're just a Christian martyr. Well, I was looking through my little red book, and I was noticing that your subscription to the Companion has run out right when that wonderful new serial by Bessie Mae Harper started. It's all about the horse he said on Long Island. Oh, you have read it. Well, how do you think it turns out? Oh, no, Bessie Mae Harper never lets you down. Oh, of course, it's complications. You have to have complications. You can't have a story without them. But Bessie Mae Harper always leaves you with such an uplift. Why, Ella, you sound so mad. Oh, because it's only 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Ella, I forgot that she never got up before 9. I forgot that anybody was allowed to sleep in as late as that. Can't say anything more than I'm sorry, can I? You will? You're going to take that subscription from me anyhow? Oh, bless you, Ella. Bless you, bless you, bless you.
Across the alley was the Paradise Dance Hall. Evenings in spring, they would open up all the doors and the windows, and the music would come outside. Sometimes they'd turn out all the lights, except for a large glass sphere that hung from the ceiling. It would turn slowly about and filter the dusk with delicate rainbow colors. Then the orchestra would play a waltz or a tango, something with a slow and sensuous rhythm. Then the young couples would come outside to the relative privacy of the alley. You could see them kissing behind telephone poles and ash pits. This was the compensation for lives that passed like mine, without change or adventure. Changes and adventure, however, were imminent this year. They were waiting around the corner for all of these dancing kids. suspended in the mist over Berchtesgaden, caught in the folds of Chamberlain's umbrella. In Spain, there was Guernica. Here, there was only hot swing music and liquor, bars, dance halls, movies, and sex that hung in the gloom like a chandelier and flooded the world with deep, deceptive rainbow hues. While these unsuspecting kids danced to Dear One, the World is Waiting for the Sunrise, all the world was really waiting for bombardments.
Tom, where are you?
I came out to smoke.
Oh, you smoke too much. Is that a pack a day at 30 cents a pack? How much would that be in a month? 30 times 15? Well, it wouldn't be much, but it would be enough to put towards a night school course in accounting down at the Washington U. Wouldn't that be lovely?
I'd rather smoke.
I know. That's a tragedy of you. This fire escape landing is a poor excuse for the porch we used to have. What are you looking at?
The moon.
Oh, is there a moon this evening?
Yeah, it's rising over Garfinkel's delicatessen.
Oh, still it is. Such a little silver slipper of a moon. Did you make a wish?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you wish?
That's a secret.
All right. I won't tell you what I wished either. I can keep a secret like you. I can be just as mysterious as you.
I bet I could guess what you wished.
Why? Is my head transparent?
You're not a sphinx.
No, I don't have secrets. I'll tell you what I wish for you. Success and happiness for my precious children. I wish for that whenever there's a moon. And when there isn't a moon, I wish for it too.
I thought perhaps you wished for a gentleman caller.
Why do you say that?
Well, don't you remember asking me to fetch one?
I remember suggesting that it might be nice for your sister if you brought home some nice young man from the warehouse. I think I've made that suggestion more than once.
Yes, you have made it repeatedly. Well, we are going to have one.
What?
A gentleman caller.
You mean you asked some nice young man to come over?
I invited him to dinner.
You really did?
I did.
And did he accept?
He did.
He did?
He did.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
I thought you'd be pleased.
So it's definite then.
Mhm. Very, very definite.
How soon?
Pretty soon.
How soon?
Quite soon.
How soon?
Very, very soon.
Anytime I try to ask you anything, you start going on like that.
All right, what do you want to know?
Go ahead and guess. Go ahead and guess.
All right, I'll guess. You want to know when the gentleman caller is coming. He is coming tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't do anything about tomorrow. I can't do anything about tomorrow.
Why not?
Well, it doesn't give me enough time.
Time for what?
Time for preparations. Oh, you should have phoned me. The minute you asked him. The minute he accepted.
Mother, there's no reason to make any fuss.
Of course I have to make a fuss. I can't have a man come into a place that's all sloppy. It has to be thrown together properly. Oh, and I sure have some fast singing to do before tomorrow night, too.
I don't see why you got to do any thinking at all.
That's because you just don't know. You just don't know, that's all.
Ugh.
I can't have a gentleman caller coming into a pigsty. Let me think. I've got those 3 pieces of wedding silver left. I'll polish that up. I wonder how that old lace tablecloth's holding up all these years. We can't wear anything. We haven't got it. We haven't got anything to wear. We haven't got it.
Mother, this boy is not going to make a fuss over.
I don't know how you could say that when this is the first gentleman caller your little sister's ever had. I think it's pathetic how that little girl has never received one single gentleman caller. I want to ask you a few things.
If you're going to make a fuss, I'll call the whole thing off. I'll phone the boy up right now and tell him not to come.
Listen, do that. People hate broken engagements. They've got no place to go. Sit down.
Any particular place you want me to sit?
Sit anywhere. Now, what am I going to do about that? Have you ever seen anything look so sad? Oh, I know. I'll get a bright piece of cretonne. That won't cost much. And I've been making payments on the floor lamp, so I'll have that sent out. Oh, and a nice bright cover for the chair. I wish I had time to paper the walls.
Oh,
What's his name?
his name is O'Connor.
O'Connor. It's Irish, and tomorrow's Friday. So that means fish. Well, that's all right. I'll make a salmon loaf and some mayonnaise dressing for it. Where'd you meet him?
At the warehouse, of course. Where else would I meet him?
Well, I don't know. Does he drink?
Now, what made you ask me that?
Because your father did.
Now, don't get started on that.
He drinks then.
No. Well, not that I know of.
You have to find out. There's nothing I want less for my daughter than a man who drinks.
Aren't you being a bit premature? After all, poor Mr. O'Connor hasn't even appeared on the scene yet.
But he will tomorrow to meet your sister. And what do I know about his character?
What are you up to now?
I always did leave that cow leg.
Ugh.
Never understand why it won't sit down by itself.
Look, Mother, I want to tell you something. Now, I mean it, sincerely, right straight from the heart. Now, there are a lot of boys who meet girls which they don't marry.
You know, you always have me worried because you can never stick to a subject. What I want to know is, what's his position at the warehouse?
He's a shipping clerk.
Oh, a shipping clerk. That sounds fairly good. That would where you'd be if you had more get up. How much does he earn?
Well, I have no way of knowing that for sure, but I judge his salary to be approximately $85 a month.
$85? Well, that's not princely.
That's $20 more than I make.
I know that. Oh, well, I know that. Now, well, I know that. $85 a month. Nope, can't be done. Family man can never get by on $85 a month.
Mother, Mr. O'Connor is not a family man.
Well, he might be one day in the future, mightn't he?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Plans and provisions.
You're the only young man I know that ignores the fact that the future becomes the present the past, and the past is into everlasting regret if you don't plan for it.
Well, I will think that over and let you know what I make of it.
Don't be superstitious with your mother. I'll tell you more about this, Mr. O'Connor. Mr. O'Connor. He must have another name besides Mr.
His full name is James D. O'Connor. The D is for Delaney.
Delaney. Irish on both sides, and he doesn't drink.
Did you want me to call him up and ask him?
No.
I'll phone him up and say, my mother wants to know if you drink before she lets you
You
come
can't
over.
do that. You have to be discreet about that subject. Why, when I was a girl in Blue Mountain, if it was suspected that a young man was drinking and any girl was receiving his attentions, if any girl was receiving his attentions, she'd go straight to the minister of his church and ask about his character. Or her father, if her father were living, then it was his duty to go to the minister of his church and ask about his character. And that's how young girls in Blue Mountain were kept from making tragic mistakes.
How come you made such a tragic one?
I don't know how he did it, but that face fooled everyone. All he had to do was grin, and the world was bewitched. I found nothing more tragic than a girl just putting herself at the mercy of a handsome parents. And I hope that Mr. O'Connor is not too good looking.
Oh, as a matter of fact, he isn't. Oh no, he's got a face full of freckles and a really large nose.
He's not right down homely.
No, not right down homely. Medium homely, I'd say.
If the girl had any sense, she'd look her character in the man anyhow.
That's what I've always said, Mother.
You've always said it.
Mhm.
You've always said it.
Mhm.
How can you've always said it if you never even thought about it?
Oh, now don't be suspicious of me.
I am. I'm suspicious of every word that comes out of your mouth when you talk to me.
But what I want to know about this nice young man, is he up and coming?
I really think so. I really think he goes in for self-improvement.
Well, what makes you think it?
He's in night school.
Well, what does he do there in night school?
He is studying radio engineering and public speaking.
Public speaking. Well, that means that he intends to be an executive someday. In radio engineering. Well, that's coming, huh?
Well, I think it's here.
Well, those are all very illuminating facts. Facts that every mother should know about any young man calling on her daughter, seriously or not.
Just a little warning, Mother. I didn't tell him anything about Laura. I didn't let on that we had any dark ulterior motives. I just said, hey, you want to come home to dinner some night? And he said, fine. And that was the whole conversation.
I'll bet it was, too. Sometimes you can be as eloquent as an oyster. But when that young man sees how sweet and pretty that child is, well, he would be mighty glad he was asked to come over for some dinner.
Just one thing, Mother. Well, you won't expect too much of Laura, will you?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, Laura seems all those things to you and me because, well, she's ours and we love her. We hardly notice she's a crippled anymore.
Don't say that word.
Mother, you have to face the facts. She is. And that's not all.
What do you mean that's not all?
Mother, you know that Laura is different from other girls.
Yes, I do know that. And I think the difference is all in her favor, too.
Not quite all. In the eyes of others, of strangers, Laura is terribly shy. She lives in a world all of her own, and those things make her seem a little bit peculiar to people outside the house.
Don't use that word peculiar.
You have to face the facts. She is.
I don't know in what way she's peculiar.
Mother, Laura lives in a world of little glass animals. She plays old phonograph records and that's about all.
Laura! Laura!
Yes, Mother?
Let those dishes go and come out front. Laura, come here and make a wish on the moon.
Moon.
No, a little silver slipper of a moon. Look over your left shoulder, darling, and make a wish. Now, darling, wish.
What shall I wish for?
Happiness and just a little bit of good fortune.
And so, the following evening, I brought Jim home to dinner. I had known Jim slightly in high school. In high school, Jim was a hero. He had tremendous Irish good nature and vitality, with a scrubbed and polished look of white chinaware. He seemed to move in a continual spotlight. He was star in basketball, captain of the debating club, president of the senior class and the glee club, and he sang the male lead in the annual light opera. He seemed always just at the point of defeating the law of gravity. He was shooting at such a velocity through his adolescence that you would just logically expect him to arrive at nothing short of the White House by the time he was 30. But apparently Jim had run into more interference after his graduation from high school, because his speed had definitely slowed. And so at this particular time in our lives, he was holding a job at the warehouse that wasn't much better than mine. Well, he was the only one at the warehouse with whom I was on friendly terms. I was valuable to Jim as somebody who could remember his former glory, who had seen him win basketball games and the silver cup in debating. He knew of my secret practice too, of retiring to a cabinet of the washroom to work on poems whenever business was slack in the warehouse. He called me Shakespeare. And while the other boys regarded me with suspicious hostility, Jim took a humorous attitude toward me. Gradually, his attitude began to affect the other boys, and so after a time, they began to smile at me too, as you smile at some oddly fashioned dog that trots across your path at some distance. I knew Jim and Laura had known each other in high school because I had heard my sister Laura speak admiringly of Jim's voice. I didn't know if Jim would remember Laura or not, because in high school, Laura had been as unobtrusive as Jim had been astonishing. And if he did remember Laura, it was not as my sister. For when I invited him home to dinner, he smiled and said, "You know, funny thing, Shakespeare, I never thought of you as having folks." Well, he was about to discover that I did.
Why are you trembling so, Laura?
Because you made me so nervous, Mother.
Why? How have I made you nervous?
By all this fuss, you make it seem so important.
I don't understand you at all, honey. Anytime I try to do something for you that's the least bit different, you just seem to set yourself against it. Now go look at yourself. Oh, no, wait a minute, I forgot something.
What is it?
Couple of improvements. When I was a girl, we had these brown little lacy things, and we called them gay deceivers.
I won't wear them.
Of course you'll wear them.
Why should I?
Well, to tell you the truth, honey, you're just a little bit flat-chested.
You make it seem like we're setting a trap.
We are. All pretty girls are a trap, and men expect them to be. Now, go look in that glass. See? Just like an angel on a postcard. Isn't that lovely? Now you just wait. I'm gonna go get dressed up. You're gonna be astonished at your mama's appearance. Used to have a lot of pretty flowers on it, but they got awful tight, so I had to take them off. I led the cotillion in this dress years ago. I won the cakewalk twice at Sunset Hill, and I wore it to the governor's ball in Jackson. You should have seen your mother. You should have seen your mother, how she just sasshayed around the ballroom just like that. Had on the day I met your father. I had the Larry fever, too. Changing climate from East Tennessee to the Delta weakened my resistance. Not enough to be dangerous, just enough to make me restless and giddy.
Oh, it was lovely. Invitations pouring in from all over. My mother said, you can't go anyplace. You have a fever, and you have to stay in bed. I said I wouldn't. And I took some quinine, and I kept going and going. Oh, it was so lovely. Dances every evening, long rides, and afternoon, and picnics. That country. So lovely in May, lacy with dogwood and simply flooded with jonquils. My mother said, you can't bring any more jonquils in this house. I said I will, and I kept bringing them on anyway. Whenever I saw them, I would make my gentleman callers stop the carriage and help me gather some. Tell you the truth, Laura, kind of got to be a joke. They said, there's that girl, and you're going to have to spend all afternoon picking jonquils. My mother said, you can't bring any more jonquils in this house. There aren't enough vases to hold them. That's all right. That's it. I'll hold them myself. Larry Fever, your father, and jonquils. Oh, I hope they get here before it starts to rain. I gave your brother some extra change so that he and Mr. O'Connor could take the service car home.
Mother,
What's it now?
what did you say his name was?
O'Connor what?
Well, what's his first name?
Well, I don't remember. Oh, I do too. It was Jim.
Oh, Mother, not Jim O'Connor.
Yes, that was it. It was Jim. I'd never known a Jim that wasn't nice.
Are you sure his name was Jim O'Connor?
I'm sure. Why?
Is he the one that Tom used to know in high school?
He didn't say. I think he got to know him at the warehouse.
There was a Jim O'Connor we both knew in high school. If he's the one Tom was bringing home to dinner, oh, Mother, you'll have to excuse me. I wouldn't come to the table.
What is this now? What sort of silly talk is this?
You asked me once if I've ever liked a boy. Don't you remember? I showed you this boy's picture.
The boy in the yearbook?
Yes, that boy.
Laura, were you in love with that boy?
I don't know. All I know is that I couldn't sit at the table if it was him.
It won't be him. It's not the least bit likely. But whether it is or is not, you will come to the table. You will not be excused.
Oh, Mother, I'll have to be.
I do not intend to humor your silliness. I've had enough from you and your brother both. So just compose yourself till they come. Tom has forgotten his keys. You'll have to let them in when they arrive.
Oh, Mother, you answer the door.
How can I when I haven't finished making the mayonnaise dressing for the salmon?
Mother, you go to the door. Don't make me do it.
Honey, do be reasonable. What's all this fuss about anyway? Just one gentleman caller. That's all. Just one. Laura, sweetheart, the door.
Mother, you go to the door.
What's the matter with you, you silly thing?
Please, you answer it, please.
Why have you chosen this moment to lose your mind? You go to that door.
I can't.
Why can't you?
Because I'm sick.
You're sick? Am I sick? You and your brother have me puzzled to death. You can never act like normal children. Will you give me one reason why you should be afraid to open the door? You go straight to that door, Laura Wingfield. You open that door.
Yes, Mother.
I have to put some courage in you, honey, for living.
Laura, this is Jim. Jim, this is my sister, Laura.
I didn't know Shakespeare had a sister. How do you do, Laura?
How do you do?
Well, I'm okay. Your hand's cold, Laura.
Yes, well, I've been playing the Victrola.
Must have been playing classical music on it. You ought to play a little hot swing to warm you up. What's the matter?
Laura's, terribly shy.
Shy, huh?
Yeah.
You know it's unusual to meet a shy girl nowadays? I don't believe you ever mentioned you had a sister.
Well, now you know I have one. Say, you want a piece of the paper?
Uh-huh.
Comics?
Comics. Sports. Old Dizzy Dean is on his bad behavior.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Where are you going?
Out on the terrace to smoke.
You know Shakespeare? I'm gonna sell you a bill of goods.
What goods?
A course I'm taking.
What course?
Course in public speaking. You know, you and me, we're not the warehouse type.
Oh, thanks. That's very good news. What has public speaking got to do with it?
It fits you for executive positions.
Oh,
I tell you, it's done a hell of a lot for me.
In what regards?
In all regards. Ask yourself, what's the difference between you and me and the guys in the office down front? Brains? No. Ability? No. Then what? Primarily, it amounts to just one single thing.
And what is that one single thing?
Social poise. The ability to square up to somebody and hold your own on any social level.
Tom,
Yes, Mother.
is that you and Mr. O'Connor?
Yes, Mother.
Make yourselves comfortable.
We will.
Ask Mr. O'Connor if he'd like to wash his hair.
Oh, no thank you, ma'am. I took care of that down at the warehouse. Hey, Tom. Mr. Mendoza was speaking to me about you.
Favorably?
What do you think?
Well,
You're going to be out of a job if you don't wake up.
I am waking up.
You show no signs.
The signs are interior. I'm just about to make a change. I am right at the point of committing myself to a future that doesn't include the warehouse or Mr. Mendoza or even a night school course in public speaking.
Now, what are you guessing about?
I'm tired of the movies.
The movies.
Yes, movies. Look at him. All these glamorous people having adventures, hogging it all, gobbling the whole thing up. Well, you know what happens? People go to the movies instead of moving. All these Hollywood characters are supposed to have all of the adventures for everybody in America, while everybody in America sits in a dark room and watches them happen until there's a war. That's when adventure becomes available to the masses. It's our turn now to go to the South Sea Island, to make a safari, to be exotic, far off. Well, I'm not patient. I don't want to wait until then. I'm tired of the movies and I'm about to move.
Move.
Yes.
When?
Soon.
Where? Where?
I'm starting to boil inside. I know, I seem dreamy, but inside, well, I'm boiling. Every time I pick up a shoe, I shudder a little, thinking about how short life is and what I'm doing. Whatever that means. I know it doesn't mean shoes, except as something to put on a traveler's feet. Here.
What?
I'm a member.
The Union of Merchant Seamen?
Paid my dues this month instead of the electric light bill.
You'll regret it when they turn out the lights.
I won't be here.
How about your mother?
I am like my father, the bastard son of a bastard. Did you see how he grins? And he's been absent going on 16 years.
You're just talking. How does your mother feel about it?
My mother is not acquainted with my plans.
Tom,
Yes, Mother.
where are you all?
We're out on the terrace.
Why don't you come in?
Why, Mother, you look so beautiful.
Why, that's the first compliment you've ever paid me. I wish you looked pleasant when you're about ready to say something pleasant, so I could expect it. Mr.
How
O'Connor.
do you do?
Well, Mr. O'Connor, Introductions are entirely unnecessary. I've heard so much about you from my son. I finally said to him, Tom, why don't you bring this paragon over for dinner finally? This nice young man from the warehouse, instead of just singing his praises. I don't know why my son is so standoffish. That's not Southern behavior. Let's sit down. Let's sit down. I think we need a little air in this room. Tom, leave the door open. I felt a nice fresh breeze a moment ago. I wonder where it's gone. So warm and not even summer yet. We're really going to burn up when summer gets here. However, we're going to have a very light supper. I think light things are better this time of year. Same as light clothes are. Light clothes and light food what warm weather calls for. You know, our blood gets so thick during the winter. It takes a while for us to adjust ourselves when the seasons change. And I wasn't prepared for it at all. It was, oh my goodness, summer already. I went straight to the trunk and I pulled out this dress. It's old, historic almost, really, but it feels so nice and cool on the skin.
How about our supper, Mother?
Honey, why don't you ask Sister about supper? You know that Sister is in full charge of supper this evening. Why don't you tell her your hungry boys are waiting for it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you met Laura?
Well, she came to the door.
She let you in.
Yes, ma'am.
She's very pretty.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
It's rare for a girl as sweet and pretty as Laura to be domestic. But thank heavens Laura's not only very pretty, she's also very domestic. I'm not, never was a bit. The only thing I could ever make was angel food cake. Well, I lived in the South, you know, we had many servants. Gone, gone, gone. All vestiges of graceful living, gone. I wasn't prepared for what the future brought me. All my younger college were sons of planters, and so naturally I just thought I'd marry one and end up raising my family on a large piece of land with plenty of servants. But man proposes and woman accepts the proposal. To vary that old saying a bit, I married no planter. No, I married a man that worked for the telephone company. That gallantly smiling gentleman right there. Telephone man who fell in love at long distance. And now he travels the world and I don't even know where. But enough about my tribulations. Why don't you tell me some of yours? Tom!
Yes, Mother.
How's that supper?
Why, supper is on the table, Mother.
Oh, so it is. How lovely. Where's Laura?
Laura isn't feeling too well and thinks maybe it's better if she doesn't come to the table.
Laura!
Yes, Mother?
Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Laura, we can't say grace until you come to the table.
Oh, Mother, I'm so sorry.
Laura, darling, you're ill. Laura, rest on the sofa. Well, standing over the hot stove has made her ill. I tried to tell her it was just too warm this evening. Is Laura all right now?
She's better, Mother.
I think we're going to have a little bit of rain this evening. Tom, you say grace.
What?
Well, what do we generally do before we eat something? We say grace, don't we?
For these and all thy mercies, God's holy name be praised.
Well, Mr. O'Connor, I haven't had such a pleasant evening in a very
hey, Mr. Lightbulb.
Where was Moses when the lights weren't out? Do you know the answer to that one, Mr. O'Connor?
No, ma'am. What's the answer to that one?
Well, I heard one answer, but it wasn't very nice. I thought you might know another one.
No, ma'am.
Well, it's a good idea. I put these candles over here. I just put them there for ornamentation, but it's nice when they prove useful, too.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if one of you gentlemen has a match, we'll get some illumination.
Oh, I can't, ma'am.
Thank you.
Not at all, ma'am.
It must be a burnt-out fuse. Do you know anything about a burnt-out fuse, Mr. O'Connor?
I know a little about them, ma'am, but where's the fuse box?
Must you know that, too? Well, it's in the kitchen. Be careful. Don't stumble in the dark. Wouldn't it be awful if we lost him? Are you all right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm all right.
Electricity is a very mysterious thing. The whole universe is mysterious to me. Wasn't it Benjamin Franklin who tied a key to a kite? I would have liked to have seen that. He might have looked mighty silly. Some people say that science clears up all the mysteries for us, but in my opinion, it just keeps adding more on. Haven't you found it?
Well, I found them all right, but them fuses look okay to me.
Tom,
Yes, Mother.
that light bill I gave you a few days ago, the one I got the notices about,
Oh, yeah. You mean last month's bill?
you didn't neglect it by any chance.
Well, I was...
You did! I should have known it.
Or maybe Shakespeare wrote a poem on that light bill, Mrs. Wingfield.
Maybe he did, too. I should have known not to trust him with it. There's such a high price for negligence in the world today.
Maybe the poem will win a $10 prize.
Well, we'll just have to spend the rest of the evening in the 19th century before Mr. Edison found that mausoleum.
Candlelight is my favorite kind of light.
Well, that shows you're romantic. However, that's no excuse for Tom. It was nice of them to let us finish our dinner, though, before they plunged us into everlasting darkness. Tom, as a penalty for your carelessness, you can help me with the dishes.
Can I be of some help, ma'am?
Oh, no, I couldn't allow that.
Well, I ought to be good for something.
What's that you say?
I just said I ought to be good for something.
Well, that's what I thought you said. Well, Laura's all by her lonesome down front. Maybe you'd like to keep her company. I can give you this candelabra and some light. It used to rest on the altar of the Church of the Heavenly Rest, but it got melted a little out of shape when the church burnt down. The church was struck by lightning one March, and Gypsy Jones, who was giving a revival in the village, said the reason the church was struck by lightning is because the Episcopalians had started to hold card parties right in the church.
Is that so, ma'am?
I never say anything that isn't so.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
You know, I'd like for Laura to have some dandelion wine. Do you think you can hold them both?
Oh, I can try, ma'am.
Now, Tom, you put on your apron.
Yes, Mother.
How are you feeling now? Any better?
Yes, thank you.
Here, this is for you. It's a little dandelion wine.
Thank you.
We'll drink it, but don't get drunk. Say, where will I put the candles?
Oh, anywhere?
How about right here on the floor? You got any objections?
No?
I'll just spread a newspaper on here to catch the drippings. I like to sit on the floor. You mind if I do?
No?
Would you give me a pillow?
What?
A pillow.
Oh.
Well, how about you? Don't you like to sit on the floor?
Yes.
Well, why don't you?
I will.
Take a pillow. I can't see you sitting way over there.
I can see you.
That's so fair. Right here in the limelight. Good, now I can see it. You comfortable?
Yes, thank you.
So am I. comfortable as a cow. Say, would you care for a piece of chewing gum?
No, thank you.
I think that I'll indulge. Do you think of the fortune made by the guy that invented the first piece of chewing gum? It's amazing, huh? You know that the Wrigley building is one of the sights of Chicago? I saw it summer before last in the Century of Progress. Did you take in the Century of Progress?
No, I didn't.
It was a wonderful exposition, believe me. You know what impressed me most? The Hall of Science. Gives you an idea of what the future will be like in America. It's more wonderful than the present time is. So your brother tells me you're shy, is that right, Laura?
I don't know.
I'd judge you to be an old-fashioned type of girl. I believe that's a wonderful type to be. I hope you don't think I'm being too personal, do you?
Mr. O'Connor, I believe I will take that piece of gum, if you don't mind. Mr. O'Connor, have you kept up with your singing?
Singing? Me?
Yes, I remember what a beautiful voice you had.
You heard me sing?
Yes, very often. I don't suppose you remember me at all.
You know, as a matter of fact, I did have an idea. I've seen you before. You know, it seemed almost like I was about to remember your name, but the name I was about to remember wasn't a name, so I stopped myself before I said it.
Wasn't it Blue Roses?
Blue Roses? Yeah, Blue Roses? I didn't connect it with high school somehow or other, but that's where it was high school. Gosh, I didn't even know you were Shakespeare's sister. Gee, I'm sorry.
I didn't expect it to. You barely knew me.
But we did have a speaking acquaintance.
Yes, we spoke to each other.
I said, didn't we have a class in something together?
Yes, we did.
What class was that?
It was singing chorus. I sat across the aisle from you in the auditorium. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah, I remember. You're the one who always came in late.
I had that brace on my leg then. It was so hard for me to get up those stairs. It clumped so loudly.
I never heard any clumping.
To me, it sounded like thunder.
I never even noticed.
Everyone was seated by the time I came in. I had to walk in front of all those people. My seat was in the back row. I had to go clumping up the aisle with everybody watching.
You shouldn't have been self-conscious.
I know, but I was. I tried not to be.
Yeah. And I used to call you Blue Roses. How did I ever get started calling you a name like that?
I was out of school a little while with fluorosis. When I came back, you asked me what the matter was. I said I had fluorosis, and you thought I said. So that's what you always called me after that.
I hope you didn't mind.
Oh no, I liked it. You see, I wasn't acquainted with many people.
Yeah, I remember you stuck by yourself.
I never did have much luck making friends.
Well, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Well, that started out badly.
You mean being...
Well, yes, it's sort of stood.
You shouldn't have let it.
I know, but it did, and
You mean you were shy with people?
I tried not to be, but never
Did
could.
you overcome it?
No, I never could.
Yeah, I guess being shy is something you have to work out kind of gradually.
Yes, I guess
It takes time.
Yes.
So you know something, Laura? People are not so dreadful when you know them. That's what you have to remember. And everybody has problems. Not just you, but practically everybody has problems. You think of yourself as being the only one who is disappointed, but just look around you a little. What do you see? A lot of people just as disappointed as you are. You take me, for instance. Boy, when I left high school, I thought I'd be a lot further along at this time than I am now. So you remember that wonderful write-up I had in the Torch?
Yes, I do.
Said I was bound to succeed in anything I went into. The Torch?
Here you are in the Pirates of Penzance.
The Pirates. Oh, better far to live and die under the brave life. I sang lead the operetta.
So beautifully.
Oh,
Yes, beautifully, beautifully.
So you heard me then, huh?
I heard you all 3 times.
You mean all 3 performances?
Yes.
What for?
Well, I wanted to ask you to autograph my program.
Why did you ask me?
You always surrounded by your own friends so much that I never had a chance.
Oh, you should have come right up and said, here is my...
Well, I thought you might think I was.
Thought I might think you was what?
Oh,
Oh. Yeah, I was beleaguered by females in those days.
you were terribly popular.
Yeah.
You had such a friendly way.
I was spoiled in high school,
Everybody liked you.
including you.
Well, I guess I did too.
Hand me that program, Laura. There you are, better late than never.
Wow, what a surprise.
My signature is not worth very much right now, but maybe one day it will increase in value. You know, being disappointed is one thing and being discouraged is something else. Well, I may be disappointed, but I'm not discouraged. So you finished high school?
I made bad grades in my final examinations.
You mean you dropped out?
I didn't go back. How is Emily Meisenbach getting along?
That old time?
Why do you call her that?
Because that's what she was.
You're not still going with her,
Oh, I never even see her.
but it said in the personal section that you were engaged.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't impressed by that propaganda.
It wasn't the truth?
It was only true in Emily's optimistic opinion.
Oh,
So, what have you done since high school?
what?
I said, what have you done since high school?
Nothing much.
You must have been doing something all this time.
Yes.
Such as what?
Well, I took a business course at business college.
You did? How did that work out?
Not very well. I had to drop out. It gave me indigestion.
How about now?
I don't do anything much. Oh, please don't think I sit around doing nothing all day. My glass collection takes a good deal of time. Glass I'm get to take good care of.
What'd you say about glass?
Collection. I said I have one.
So you know what I judge to be the trouble with you? Inferiority complex. You know what that is? That's what they call it when a fellow low rates himself. I understand it because I had it too. Only my case was not as aggravated as yours seems to be. I had it until I took up public speaking, developed my voice, learned I had an aptitude for science. You know that until that time, I never thought of myself as being outstanding in any way whatsoever.
Oh my.
Now, I've never made a regular study of it, mind you, but I have a friend who says I can analyze people better than doctors who make a profession of it. I don't claim that's necessarily true, but I can sure guess a person's psychology. Excuse me, Laura. I was taking out when the plate was going. I'll just wrap in this piece of paper. I know how it is when you get it stuck on a shoe. Yeah, that's what I judge to be your principal trouble, lack of confidence in yourself as a person. Now, I'm basing that fact on a number of your remarks and on certain observations I've made. For instance, that clumping that you thought was so awful in high school. You say you dreaded to go upstairs. You see what you did? You dropped out of school. You gave up an education, all because of a little clump, which as far as I can see is practically non-existent. Sure, a slight defect is what you have, hardly noticeable even, magnified 1,000 times by your imagination. You know what my strong advice to you is? You've got to think of yourself as superior in some way.
In what way would I think?
My man alive, Laura, look around you. What do you see? A world full of common people. All of them born, all of them gonna die. Now, which of them has 1/10 of your strong points, huh? Or mine, or anybody else's for that matter? You see, everybody excels in some one thing. Some in many. You take me, for instance. My interest happens to lie in electrodynamics. I'm taking a course in radio engineering at night school on top of a fairly responsible job at the warehouse. I'm taking that course and I'm studying public speaking because I believe in the future of television. I want to be ready to go right up along with it. I'm planning to get in on the ground floor. All that remains now is for the industry itself to get underway, full steam. You know, knowledge. money, power, wham! That's the cycle democracy is built on. I guess you think I think a lot of myself.
No, I don't.
Well now, how about you? Isn't there some one thing that you take more interest in than anything else?
Yes.
Such as what?
Well, I do, as I said, have my glass collection.
Oh, what kind of glass is it?
Little articles of it, ornaments mostly. Mostly my little animals made out of glass. Tiniest animals in all the world. Mother calls it my Glass Menagerie. Here's an example of one if you'd like to see it. It's one of the oldest. It's nearly 13. Oh, careful. If you breathe, it breaks.
Oh, I'd better not take it. I'm pretty clumsy with things.
Go on, I trust you with him. See, you're holding him gently. Hold him over the light. He loves the light. See how the light shines through him?
It sure does shine.
I shouldn't be partial, but he is my favorite one.
I say, what kind of thing is it supposed to be?
Haven't you noticed a single horn on his forehead?
A unicorn, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they extinct in the modern world?
I know.
Poor little fellow must feel kind of lonesome.
Well, if he does, he doesn't complain about it. He sits on a shelf with some other horses. The ones who don't have horns, and they seem to get along quite nicely together.
They do. Say, where'll I put them?
Put them on the table. They all like to change the scenery once in a while.
They do. See, look how big my shadow is when I stretch.
Oh, yes, it's stretched across the ceiling.
It stopped raining. Where does the music come from?
From the Paradise Dance Hall across the alley.
How about cutting the rug a little, Miss Wingfield? Or is your program filled up? Never mind, let me take a look at it. Every dance is taken. I'll just scratch some of them out. A waltz.
I can't dance.
There you go with that inferiority stuff.
I've never danced in my life.
Come on, let's try.
Oh, but I'd step on you.
I'm not made out of glass.
How do we start?
You hold your arms out a little.
Like this?
A little bit higher. Good, now relax. That's the principal thing about it, just relax.
It's hard to.
Okay?
I'm afraid you can't budge me.
What do you bet I can?
My goodness, yes you can.
Let yourself go now, Laura. Just let yourself go.
I'm
Come on.
trying.
Easy does it. Loosen your backbone a little.
I know, but
There we go.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
We knocked the little glass horse over.
Yes.
Is he broken?
Now it's just like all the other horses.
You mean he lost?
He lost his horn. It's no tragedy. Glass breaks so easily, no matter how careful you are with it.
I bet that was your favorite piece of glass. Bet you'll never forgive me.
I don't have favorites much. It breaks easily. Traffic jars the shelf and things fall off of them.
Still, I'm awfully sorry that I was the cause of it.
I'll just imagine he had an operation. He had his horn removed so he'd feel less freakish. Now feel more at home with the other horses, the ones who don't have horns.
I'm glad to see that you have a sense of humor. You know you're different from anybody else I know? Do you mind me telling you that? I mean it. You make me feel sort of... I don't know how to say it. I'm usually pretty good at expressing things, but this is something I don't know how to say. Did anybody ever tell you that you're pretty? Well, you are, in a different way than anybody else. Boy, I wish that you were my sister. I'd teach you to have confidence in yourself. Being different is nothing to be ashamed of because other people, they aren't such wonderful people. They're 100 times 1,000. You're 1 times 1. If they walk all over the earth, you just stay here. They're as common as weeds. But you're blue roses.
But blue is wrong for roses.
It's right for you. You're pretty.
In what respect am I pretty?
In all respects, your eyes, your hair, your hands are pretty. You think I'm saying this because I'm invited to dinner and have to be nice. Well, I could do that. I could say a lot of things without being sincere. But I'm talking to you sincerely. I happened to notice that you had this inferiority complex that kept you from feeling comfortable with people. Somebody out to build your confidence up, way up, make you proud instead of shy, turning away and blushing. Somebody out to kiss you, Laura. Gee, I shouldn't have done that. That was way off the beam. Would you care for a cigarette? You don't smoke, do you? How about a mint? Peppermint? Lifesaver in my pocket's a regular drugstore. You know, if I had a sister like you, I'd do the same thing as Tom. I'd bring fellows home to meet you too. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. That may not have been the idea in having me over. But what if it was? There's nothing wrong with that. The only trouble is that in my case, I'm not in a position to. I can't ask for your number and cell phone. I can't call up next weekend, ask for a date. I thought I'd better explain the situation in case you misunderstood and I hurt your feelings.
You won't call again?
No, I can't. Laura, I've been going steady. I have strings on me. I go out all the time with a girl named Betty. She's a nice, quiet homegirl like you, and Catholic and Irish. And in a great many ways, we get along fine. I met her last summer on a moonlight boat trip up the river to Ulm on the Majestic. And from the start, it was love. Boy, being in love has made a new man in me. The power of love is pretty tremendous. It's something that it changes the whole world. It happened that Betty's aunt took sick and she got a wire and had to go to Centralia, so naturally when Tom asked me to dinner, naturally I accepted the invitation, not knowing. I wish that you would say something. What are you doing that for? You mean you want me to keep them? What for?
A souvenir.
I'm coming, children. I thought you might like some liquid refreshments. Mr. O'Connor, have you heard that song about lemonade? It's lemonade, lemonade, made in the shade and stirred with a spade. Maybe it's good enough for any old maid. Why are you so serious, honey?
We were having a serious conversation.
I don't understand modern young people at all. When I was a girl, I was gay about everything.
You haven't changed a bit, Mrs. Winfield.
Well, I suppose it's the gaiety of the occasion that has rejuvenated me. Well, here's to the gaiety of the occasion. I baptized myself. I found some chairs in the kitchen, and I put one in each glass.
You shouldn't have gone to all the trouble, ma'am.
I was no trouble at all. Didn't you hear us cutting up in the kitchen? I was so outdone with Tom for not bringing you over sooner. But now that you found your way, I want you to come over all the time. Not just once in a while, but all the time. Well, I think I'll go back in that kitchen.
Oh, no, ma'am, please don't go, ma'am. As a matter of fact, I've got to be going.
Oh, Mr. O'Connor, it's only the shank of the evening.
Well, you know how it is.
Oh, you mean you're a young working man and have to keep working man's hours?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we'll let you off early this time, but only on the condition that you next time, much later. What's the best night for you, Saturday?
Oh, as a matter of fact, I have a couple of time clocks to punch, Mrs. Wingfield. One in the morning and then another at night.
Oh, isn't that nice? You're so ambitious. You work nights, too.
Oh, not for work, but for Betty.
Betty? Who's Betty?
Oh, just the girl I go steady with.
It's serious, then.
Oh, yes, ma'am, we're going to be married the second Sunday in June.
Tom didn't say anything about you're going to be married.
Oh, well, the cat's not out of the bag at the warehouse just yet. You know how they are, they call you Romeo and stuff like that. I've had a wonderful evening, Mrs. Wingfield. I guess this is what they mean by Southern hospitality.
Oh, there's no trouble. No trouble at all.
I hope it doesn't seem like I'm rushing off, but I promised Betty I'd pick her up at the Wabash Depot, and by the time I get my jalopy down there, her train will be in. Some women get pretty upset if you keep them waiting.
Yes, I know all about the tyranny of women. Well, goodbye, Mr. O'Connor. I wish you happiness, good fortune. You wish him that too, don't you, Laura?
Yes, Mother, I do.
Goodbye, Laura. I'll always treasure the souvenir. Don't forget that great advice I gave you. So long, Shakespeare. Thanks again, ladies. Good night.
Well, well, well. Things have a way of turning out so badly. I don't think I'd play that Victrola. Well, well, well. My gentleman caller was engaged to be married. Tom,
Yes, Mother.
come out here for a minute. I want to tell you something very funny.
Has our gentleman caller gotten away already?
Gentleman caller made a very early departure. And that was a nice joke you played on us, too.
How do you mean?
Well, you didn't mention that he was engaged to be married.
Jim engaged?
That's what he just informed us.
Well, I'll be jiggered. I didn't know.
That seems peculiar.
What's peculiar about it?
Well, didn't you tell me that he was your best friend down at the warehouse?
He is, but how did I know?
Well, it seems very peculiar to me that you didn't know that your best friend was going to be married.
The warehouse is a place where I work, not a place where I know things about people.
You don't know anything anywhere. You live in a dream. You manufacture illusions. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going?
I'm going to the movies!
That's right. Now that you've had us make such fools of ourselves, the effort, the preparation, the expense, the new floor lamp, the clothes for Laura, all for what? To entertain some other girl's fiancé. Go to the movies. Go! Don't think about us. A mother deserted. An unmarried sister who's crippled and has no job. Don't let anything get in the way of your foolish pleasures. Just go, go, go to the movies!
All right! I will. And the more you shout at me about my selfish pleasures, the quicker I'll go to it. And I won't go to the movies either!
Go then! Then go to the moon! You selfish dreamer!
I didn't go to the moon. I went much farther. For time is the longest distance between two places. I left St. Louis. I descended these steps of this fire escape and followed from then on in my father's footsteps, attempting to find in motion what was lost in space. I traveled around a great deal. The cities swept about me like dead leaves, leaves that were brightly colored but torn away from the branches. I would have stopped, but I was pursued by something. It always came upon me unawares, taking me altogether by surprise. Perhaps it was a familiar strain of music. Perhaps it was only a piece of transparent glass. Perhaps I am walking along a street at night in some strange city before I have found companions, and I pass the lighted window of a shop where perfume is sold. The window is filled with little pieces of colored glass, tiny transparent bottles in delicate colors. Then all at once, my sister touches my shoulder. I turn around and look into her eyes. Oh, Laura. Laura, I tried to leave you behind me, but I am more faithful than I intended to be. I reach for a cigarette, I cross the street, I run into a movie or a bar, I buy a drink, I speak to the nearest stranger, anything that can blow your candles out. For nowadays, the world is lit by lightning. Blow out your candles, Laura. And so, goodbye.